first up, we have Nate Heasley speaking about Goodnick. It offers education and services to nonprofits and socially responsible companies. Very excited to have him come up and tell his story. So Nate. And afterwards we'll do a very quick Q&A for a question or two, and I will come out and sort of be the Vanna White of that very not so compelling Vanna White. So here, until then, thanks.
Thank you. So my name is Nate Heasley, and I founded an organization called Goodnick, which is a social entrepreneur resource network and organization that provides support for social entrepreneurs in a variety of different ways. I was asked tonight to talk about the founding moment, and honestly, Goodnick didn't start with the founding moment. It started with a whimper more than a bang. It started with a, yeah, I guess I should do this because I've been running a meetup group for a number of years. But at the time, I didn't really have a killer app. I didn't have a reason that Goodnick needed to exist beyond being a meetup group. But I didn't let that stop me. What I did was I founded Goodnick anyway. And I figured it out along the way. I figured out what it was that Goodnick was and how it could support the social entrepreneur community. And over the last year and a half, I've been doing that. The huzzah moment, the founding moment that I actually can talk about is when I realized that there was a killer app, that there really was something that I could be doing that was a little bit more of a technology platform that could directly help people like you, people who are entrepreneurs or social entrepreneurs or antisocial entrepreneurs, if there are any of those in the group. And that huzzah moment came when I was working with a group of social entrepreneurs, working out of a co-working space in Midtown, and I realized that all of them were starting these businesses, and many of them didn't have the skills, all of the skills that they needed to be successful. Some of them were great at marketing, some of them were great at business strategy, others were great at getting financing, some of them were really good at web development, but no early stage company that I was interacting with had all of the skills that they needed. But collectively, they all had the skills that could complement each other so that they could all be successful. And that's when I realized that by creating a platform where we could collaborate, where we could use our skills to support each other as social entrepreneurs or private sector entrepreneurs, that was the quickest way that we could create companies that were going to be successful, create companies that were going to have an impact. And that was my huzzah moment. And so it was out of that I started this new service, which just launched actually last week. It's called Goodnickels. And Goodnickels is a, how to put this succinctly, it's not too Silicon Valley. It's a skills sharing platform that allows professionals to provide services to each other and get paid in a time-based alternative currency that they can then use to hire other professionals to help them with their work. So the people who I was working with, people who were experts at marketing, could take time away from doing their project and help somebody who needed marketing help because they knew that they were going to be able to get that favor back, that whatever hour they spent working on somebody else's project doing marketing consultation, they were going to get back an hour's worth of web development. And so that was really the origin and the concept for Goodnickels. Since then, since I had that huzzah moment, which was probably about a year ago, and realized that it was really going to be a powerful way that we could change the way that companies get started, the way that people support each other, not simply through yeah, I can do you a favor, but really looking at it as, I will trade you this service and know that I will get something back in the future, not necessarily from you, but from somebody else. Since then, I really have taken a step back and looked at the whole ecosystem of what these kinds of systems provide and what the alternatives are. And plenty of volunteer matching systems out there. There are plenty of ways in which people who want to help social entrepreneurs can help them with their volunteer services. But there was really no way to help people and really expect that you were going to be helped yourself, or that you could use those hours in some way to help some other organization. And so the last year has been spent developing this platform, creating it from the ground up. I would say that probably 80% of the platform, as I had conceived it from the beginning, was sort of what I started with. And again, you don't necessarily start with 100% of your plan. You don't start with the vision that's going to be the end. You end up starting a business that is, something that looks like X, and you don't really know what X is going to be in the end, but you have to start anyway, and you have to really throw yourself into it. And so that's what I've done with Good Nickels. I've been, for the last year, sort of got the 80% done, and I got the last, another 10% done, and then another 10% of that, and then 10% of that, and like Zeno's paradox, I'm sort of closing in on that perfect application, and I hope to be getting there pretty soon. Exactly when it's going to happen. But in any case, that's the story of Goodnick and the story of Good Nickels, and I hope that you find it interesting enough, compelling enough that you visit goodnickels.com. It's GOODNIKELS.com. Try it out, sign up, and share some of your services and professional skills with social entrepreneurs. Thank you.
Awesome. So, stay up here for 1 sec. Don't run away too quick. We're gonna do some Q&A. I have to say, I just love hearing these stories, right? When people talk about these founding moments, it does remind you of what spurs innovation, right? This is a company that has, looks at the most fundamental commodity we have, time, and is sort of revolutionizing the way in which we trade. And it's really, really amazing stuff. So, any questions here? Questions? Oh, someone this point. Oh. We have a system here. It's so many mics. Here, I got one. Thank you.
How many Nudnicks have you had to encounter doing Goodnick?
Hundreds or thousands of Goodnicks. The total Goodnick community is probably somewhere in the neighborhood of about 3,000 social entrepreneurs in the New York City area. These are people who are either active social entrepreneurs or people who are interested in social entrepreneurism, want to support. Maybe not.
Do you know what a Nudnick is?
Oh, Nudnick?
Yeah.
We've got 0 Nudnicks.
You have encountered 0 Nudnicks?
I think you're making a fine distinction between the Nudnick and the Goodnick. I only deal with Goodnicks.
Any other questions? Yes.
How are you doing? Juan from El Autobus. Just want to ask a question. Is this only for tech companies, or could it be design or any sort of?
So the Goodnick community started largely with educating nonprofits and social entrepreneurs around technology. So there is a very strong technology focus. That's not the only kind of organizations that are supported. We work with hardware hackers, we work with web companies, we work with people who are doing direct services. So we have companies that are helping foster kids who are aging out of foster care understand the job market and how to get professional careers. We work with all kinds of organizations, and we support all of those kinds of organizations through the Good Nickels platform.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Great, very inspiring stuff, as I think all of these ones. We got a round of applause. That's